Learning a new language can be very daunting, take courage and lots of time. It can also be very demotivating when you don't seem to make progress. Now this series is all about providing you with the instant language to use, get a reaction, and hopefully learn a thing or two that will stick. And who knows, you might even be inspired to start learning Greek properly.
And when you go on holiday, you just need those few words, phrases, and a bit of slang and you're happy, right? So let's get into it.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the My Greek Island podcast, Bitesize Greek series edition with your teachers George Tsounyas
And Maria Petrakou. Γεια σου, Γιώργο.
Γεια σου Maria.
So what are we learning today?
Vamos a la playa. Or, shall I say it in Greek, Πάμε παραλία.
Vamos a la playa. Vámonos. Πάμε, Γιώργο.
I was actually going to think of there's a really famous Greek song which is around the beach, Randevou στη παραλία by Fureira. So people that like Eurovision and saw Cyprus Eurovision, Eleni Fureira, Fuego, yeah, fire. Yeah, she had a song in Greek about going to the beach. Anyway, I digress. I had to put that in there. It's a good song though. It gives very like summer vibes.
It does give summer vibes. Very poppy, but too pop for me, for my liking. But yeah. But anyway, Πάμε Γιώργο. Hello and welcome to another episode of the My Greek Island podcast, dedicated to take you, the wanderlust, on a journey through Greece.
There are 227 inhabited Greek islands. Which one will you visit next?
My Greek Island with your hosts George and Maria.
Now, there is no better place that I would rather be at this moment in time as we're recording at home in London than sipping an ice cold coffee in the Paralia, the beach in Greece. And I'm sorry if that's not you, then this is not the podcast episode for you, quite frankly. I'm always shocked when someone says they don't like the beach. Like, how can you not like the beach? Just, if you don't, just pretend you like it for this episode. Do you like the beach, Maria?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm joking. So you might have gathered the word for beach is paralia. Now, generally finding the beach in Greece is obviously quite easy, but if you want to find the best beach, So we're going to ask the question to someone, where is the best beach, please? So, πού είναι, where is, η καλύτερη παραλία, the best beach, παρακαλώ, please. Πού είναι η καλύτερη παραλία, παρακαλώ? Πού είναι η καλύτερη παραλία, παρακαλώ? Or, if you just simply want to know where the beach is, you've woken up disorientated, and you just want to get to the beach, you could remove the word η καλύτερη, which means the best, and just ask, πού είναι η παραλία, παρακαλώ?
And I mean, if you follow us on Instagram, you'll know that both me and George are I don't know, well, we're mermaids. Like, we love the sea. We just love being anywhere at the beach. And so, as you can see, George has you covered to get you to the best beach. Always think of our listeners, aren't you, hun?
Yeah, only the best for our listeners. Now, for the purposes of this episode, Maria, I know you're not too much of a fan of organised beaches. You're more of the off-the-beaten-track, unorganised beaches. But this episode would be extremely boring if we weren't going to the organised beaches, because, like, what would we give you? So we're going to an organised beach today.
Yeah, but if you do head to an organised beach, if there's a sunbed on the beach, you will not find me there, just FYI. So if you're looking for me in the summer...
I might expose you in the summer if we go to an organised beach now.
I mean, we've got a photo in Garpathos where you were on the sunbed and I was lying on the sand, remember?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, I do. I like actually lying. I actually love the feeling of the warm sand beneath me. So anyway, that's for another time. But we're going to give you the word for organised beach in Greek, and I'm going to be cheeky and also give you the word for unorganised beach because it's quite similar. So organized beach in Greek is oργανωμένη παραλία. That's οργανωμένη παραλία. And unorganized is ανοργάνωτη παραλία. Ανοργάνωτη παραλία. So if you want to ask where the organized beach is, you can say πού είναι η οργανωμένη παραλία παρακαλώ? Πού είναι η οργανωμένη παραλία παρακαλώ?
Now, when you're at the beach, you are most likely to see a typical setup of the sunbeds is 2 sunbeds and 1 umbrella. And it's a very, very easy way to know this because it's literally a set. So you might want to ask, and it's always good to maybe do a bit of research if there's several organized beaches and you're on a budget. Πόσο κάνει το set παρακαλώ? How much is the set? So 2 sunbeds and 1 umbrella. Πόσο κάνει το set παρακαλώ?
And this is quite important because some locations in Greece actually have different prices depending on which row on the beach, which sunbeds and how close to the seafront they are. So definitely something to keep in mind when you are asking for the prices because you might have different prices ranging. But question, are we not giving the words for umbrella and sunbed since we're talking about organized beaches?
Yeah, I think I will. But yeah, just think about when you're going to the beach with the row system. It's like going to the theatre. If you want front row seats, Hans, you're going to pay premium. If you're right at the back, it's going to be a bit cheaper, isn't it? So
You want
just
the
think
water
about
touching
that.
your toes.
Not a rule. It doesn't happen everywhere. But yeah, you want to be right at the front. But sometimes it's extortionate. So no, because we could, the sea is free. So the word for umbrella again, very very easy, is umbrella. So no need to repeat that one. And the word for sunbed is xaplostra, xaplostra. So μία xaplostra. Or if you want 2, it's δύο xaplostres. Δύο xaplostres. And if you want to ask a question about how much something would be in the plural, it's going to change from πόσο κάνει to πόσο κάνουν. So Maria, would you like to give an example of 2 sunbeds and 1 umbrella and how our listeners would say that?
So you would say πόσο κάνουν 2 ξαπλώστρες και μία ομπρέλα παρακαλώ? Πόσο κάνουν 2 ξαπλώστρες και μία ομπρέλα παρακαλώ? And I mean, you added this, George, because we've been getting quite a few questions on the My Greek Island Instagram page about how to ask for plural, because most of the episodes, I think, have been not focusing on numbers mainly. And someone asked, okay, but I'm going with my partner. How do I ask for 2 drinks, 2 glasses of wine? So we've got you covered. But moving on to my favorite topic other than beach, are we going to order some food or drinks?
We are indeed, but one of my things that I do whenever I go to the beach, firstly, because you might not have signal, and secondly, unfortunately, us in the UK, no longer in the EU, so we have to pay roaming charges. So many of our international listeners might have a roaming pass, but if you don't, you might want to get the Wi-Fi, and it's always better to get the Wi-Fi because you might have better connection to upload those stories and tag us in. So you might want to ask at the beach, do you have Wi-Fi? And quite a lot of places do have Wi-Fi. Thank God. So do you ask for Wi-Fi at the beach? I don't think have I seen you ask for Wi-Fi?
No, because I
always
don't. I still am on a package that allows me to roam for free.
Okay, fair. So to ask, don't worry. Well, you might join the club of no roaming pass. I mean, I do have the roaming pass that I add on, but it's not enough data. Anyway, so to ask for Wi-Fi, you simply have to say, do you have Wi-Fi? Which is, έχετε Wi-Fi. Έχετε Wi-Fi. In a bit of a Greek Wi-Fi accent. So, έχετε Wi-Fi. Probably going to say yes. And you're probably going to know if you open your Wi-Fi and see the Wi-Fi of the place is on an option. And then you can ask for it.
Can we get back to the food now?
Yeah. Okay, we are going to get to the food. So, yeah.
Okay, so let's say we would like I don't know. So we've learnt this on previous Bitesize Greek episodes, which is θα θέλαμε. So let's just say we want an iced tea or bottle of water, for example. We could say θα θέλαμε ένα iced tea και ένα μπουκάλι νερό. Θα θέλαμε ένα iced tea και ένα μπουκάλι νερό.
Perfect. And that goes with anything you see on the menu. You can say θα θέλαμε and, you know, we would like. And then finally, before we wrap up, some things you might want to ask for or say. So the first one is πού είναι οι τουαλέτες? Where are the toilets? Πού είναι οι τουαλέτες? Παρακαλώ. Let's always be polite. Another one we could ask is, oh, this is actually important because it's going to be very hot, very sunny, and you might want some more ice cubes. So, έχετε κι άλλα παγάκια? Παρακαλώ. Do you have any more ice cubes? Έχετε κι άλλα παγάκια? Παρακαλώ. And finally, one that you can use for many things is to say I love or I like Greece, the beach and the sea. So, μου αρέσει, I like. Μου αρέσει η Ελλάδα, I like Greece. Or μου αρέσει η παραλία, I like the beach. And μου αρέσει η θάλασσα, I like the sea. I think any more you can think of?
I mean, how about we show off a bit and say, let's go for a dip? And definitely a phrase that you can use to show off and impress. So to say, let's go for a dip is πάμε για μια βουτιά. Πάμε για μια βουτιά.
Now, as our Greek island bite-sized listeners have become accustomed to, we do like to roleplay at the end of each episode so you can listen to an example of a conversation. Obviously, Maria and I are going together, hand in hand to the beach in the summer. We were going to do it once with explanations, and then finally we're going to do it all the way through, covering what we've just done. Are you ready?
Yes. So effectively assume that me and George are going to the beach together, and some of the questions that we're asking that we've learnt on the episode, we are asking a third person.
Πάμε παραλία.
Okay, let's go.
Καλημέρα, Maria. Πάμε παραλία. Good morning, Maria. Shall we go to the beach?
Καλημέρα, Γιώργο. Πάμε. Good morning, George. Let's go. Πού είναι η καλύτερη παραλία, παρακαλώ? Where is the best beach, please?
And when you're at the beach, πόσο κάνει το set? How much is the set? So the two umbrellas and two sunbeds and one umbrella.
Έχετε Wi-Fi? Do you have Wi-Fi?
Θα θέλαμε ένα νερό και ένα iced tea, παρακαλώ. We would like one water and one iced tea.
Please.
Please. I forgot to add that in. It always comes with the please.
Πού είναι οι τουαλέτες, παρακαλώ? Where are the toilets, please?
Έχετε κι άλλα παγάκια, παρακαλώ. Do you have some more ice cubes, please?
Μου αρέσει η παραλία. I like the beach.
Maria, πάμε για μια βουτιά. Maria, should we go for a quick dip?
Πάμε, Γιώργο. Let's go, George.
One last time from the start, without any explanations. Καλημέρα, Μαρία. Πάμε παραλία.
Καλημέρα, Γιώργο. Πάμε. Πού είναι η καλύτερη παραλία, παρακαλώ?
Πόσο κάνει το set?
Έχετε Wi-Fi?
Θα θέλαμε ένα νερό και ένα iced tea, παρακαλώ.
Πού είναι οι τουαλέτες, παρακαλώ?
Έχετε κι άλλα παγάκια, παρακαλώ.
Μου αρέσει η παραλία.
Μαρία, πάμε για μια βουτιά.
Πάμε, Γιώργο. Right, my Greek Islanders, this comes to the end of this bite-sized learning Greek episode. But before we go, what's on the next bite-sized episode, George?
Stay tuned for the next bite-sized episode where we're going to be looking at Greek sayings and slang for your trip to Greece.
Amazing. So until the next episode, make sure to follow us on Instagram, at My Greek Island and to send us your bite-sized Greek learning requests. Γεια σας!
Right, my Greek Islanders, this comes to the end of another episode of this podcast.
Now you know the drill. If you like this episode, share it to share the love with the My Greek Island community, where everyone is welcome. And
don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and maybe give us a little rating from wherever you're listening to us from, so you are notified every time a new episode drops. And if you have any suggestions or requests, get in touch.
And for those of you visiting Greece, don't forget to tag at My Greek Island on Instagram for a future feature. Until then, see you later, or as they say in Greek,
Ta leme.